you write that story yet?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Crafting.
I'm having a hard time sleeping. Just thinking about how I read it before I went to bed or something.
Well, we just had Joe Toussaint, and he was talking about, defensive intensity and some of those things. You talked about a little of this after the game, but where's defense on this team? Where's his defense?
I think we're all better. I think Keaty's been very consistently good, except for when he's been banged up, and he's been banged up quite a bit. But no, I think we're a lot better defensively. Playing harder.
And as Tim, you've added more and more of he and Keaty on the floor together at times. Has that combination worked as well as you wanted it to? What have you seen out of that?
Well, I guess I probably would have done it all along if I wasn't worried about making sure we had a point guard left you got to be careful with those guys because they're inside they put their hands on people, they push people, they pull on people. On the perimeter, you can't hardly touch anybody. So I didn't want both of those guys in foul trouble at the same time. Otherwise, I would have played them both together way more.
Statistically, these guys are the best defense in the Big 12. Whether they are or not, what makes them so good?
They run well. Offensive, they run good stuff, so they don't put themselves in bad positions in transition. They're a really good transition defensive team, and so everybody has to play against their set defense, and they've got shot blockers. So, I think they're harder to score around the goal. They're harder to drive it at because of their shot blockers. But they also go back and fortify the lane. They do as good a job as anybody at getting back and fortifying the lane.
It's not pack line, though, is it?
No. Mm-hmm.
So they want to make you play 5-on-5.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And they rebound, the four guards, basically, in a 6'10 guy, but they rebound well. Why? Is it because they box out well? Is it because they're in good position? What do they do that keeps people off the glass?
I don't know how much people go, how hard people go. And again, they take really good shots when they shoot. They don't take bad shots, and because they don't pack line it, but they certainly overload it, and so they want you to shoot shots over top of them.
So their good stats are a product of their style of play?
Their stats are good because the guy's done a heck of a job of coaching them.
Some people would look at a game like this and say, West Virginia's bigger, they're going to be able to dominate inside. Others look and say they got four guards who are really good. What determines who comes out on top when you're in that situation? Who makes the other adjust?
Well, Bob, I think you would agree we wouldn't be in the shape we're in right now if we had just made 2-footers, and we haven't, and we didn't particularly early. We didn't make 2-footers. Think of the free throws we missed. I mean, we missed 3 consecutive free throws. We missed 2 consecutive free throws. They're both going to win the game. All we got to do is make them. We're going to win the game. And we shot ourselves in the foot because we just didn't make what are extremely makeable shots. We just missed shots you shouldn't miss. And that's why we ended up where we are.
How does a big team make an impression on a smaller team that wants to play a different kind of game, and vice versa? I mean, how does the team get the upper hand?
Well, they're. I mean, I would think that it's coming where they're going to start double teaming the post. I would think. You know, and then you gotta kick it out to open people.
With Eric's hot hand lately, and talking about double teams, are everybody going to throw double teams at him? You got to adjust, or what's Eric's next move?
He only had one hot hand, by the way. Well, it isn't like it's been a constant thing, but I mean, no, I'm sure he's going to be. They're going to put an emphasis on guarding him. They'll probably switch everything. They switch a lot anyway. They'll probably switch everything. They'll probably try to take him to the loaded side of the floor where they can get help there faster.
Does somebody else have to step up for you if they put tons of emphasis on Eric?
I think that's the case all the time, though. I mean, we've been when we really made the run the other day. If you think about it, he got us started, you know, but then we have a guy make 2 threes and make a steal and score. So he scores 8 points in probably less than 2 minutes. We have other people who are very capable of scoring. But I mean, that was the problem. I mean, you guys saw it as well as anybody did. I mean, we missed 1 and 2 footers. We were right there. Ball roll around a rim and go out. I had never seen one it was on the inside of the rim. Emmett shot it, and it just rolled around and around. It kept getting slower and slower and slower. Well, you think it's going to fall in. If it goes slower, and it fell out. That's kind of what happened.
Is the challenge to get them to repeat what they did Saturday?
Shouldn't be.
I mean, you had 3 games like that. Florida, Pitt, Oklahoma, which is, I guess, toward the upper end of what this team's potential is. How do you get it out of them?
We got to guard better, but we are guarding better. I think their approach has been better. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, if everybody played to their potential, we're really good. Everybody hasn't. Eric's just starting to play to what we all thought Eric would be. You know, Trey carried us for a while, and now, you know, he's struggling just a little bit. But I mean, if he comes out making shots, we weren't scoring it close, as we talked about a lot. But I mean, Jimmy's scoring it better down there. Mo's scoring it better down there. James has gotten exponentially better. So we're not. I don't think anybody would say we're like the team that we were. We're not. I think we're better.
Seth gives you some pop off the bench.
Seth is capable of doing what Eric did the other day. Very capable.
You feel like Eric's calming down a little bit? If you feel like you've gotten that under control a little bit in terms of still play emotional, but within, you know, the realm of the game?
Don't you think he had to? He had to. You know, I mean, it's one thing to be assertive and aggressive, but you can take it too far. And I think he realizes. I'll tell you the truth. I put him on the phone with Mike Gansey, and Mike talked to him. You know, if you've been around sports, really basically any kind of athletics, you get tired of hearing the same voice, man. You're tired of hearing it. I get tired of hearing Eric's voice now. But that's common in sports. That you're together so much, and you're in situations that are uncomfortable, and so you've got to calm it down. You got to figure a way to slow it down a little bit, and he has. I mean, to his credit, he really has, and he has been in the last 4, 5, 6 games. Well, he's been a great teammate. So.
We just had Mo in here. How has he developed since he got here in the summer, and what's the next step for him? How far can he go?
As far as he wants to go. He's got the weight room's going to be critical for him, particularly lower body. But he's long, he's athletic, he's got great feet. It's all out there for him. It's just, is he going to put the time and the effort in to make it come to fruition? Because he is talented enough. James is plenty talented enough. Those are two young guys that, Mo was only in this country 1 year before he came here. James came over here not really knowing much anything. He's a tennis player.
Is that exciting, though? You've got two bigs that one was a tennis player and one was a soccer player, maybe don't have the preconceived ideas that other guys that maybe went up through the system did, that you can kind of work with them. Is that exciting to you a little bit?
Well, it's exciting to see them continue to grow and mature. But, John, they didn't come over because they like me.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you may not get the pushback that you might get from somebody who's been told to play a certain way and you maybe want to do them a little bit differently.
They haven't, but those two guys weren't taught to play anyway.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at.
Probably one more than the other. But you got to think James is, I would guess, has really good hand-eye coordination, or he wouldn't have been able to play tennis at that size. Mo was a soccer player, but soccer players have good feet. If you're not allowed to use your hands, you gotta move the ball with something. So they certainly have some advantages, like maybe some other guys that came in here, like Mozzie. Mozzie came in and didn't have good feet, didn't have a lot of things. He never really had played, but he was 7 foot and 280 pounds, and he worked, and he got better and better and better. He's making a lot of money now. It's what you make of it. That's that we continually try to get guys to understand. It just doesn't happen. It never happens. It just happens. Just guys. Obviously, some guys are way more athletically gifted than other guys, but that doesn't mean they're better basketball players. And that's the challenge, is to get them to work at their craft. And any team's got guys that, they can't understand why they're not playing, and they're never in the gym. Well, those other guys are in the gym.
People talk about how physical this league can be, especially down low. What are your practices like with those three guys down there? I can imagine the games are a day off after they get through going at each other. They
go at each other pretty good. Jimmy generally wins, but they do go after each other, and Jimmy's been great for those other two guys, because they are learning that you have to use your lower body. In a post, your lower body is more important than your upper body. And after he's knocked him out of the lane a few times, you start to realize that I got to get a better base here.
Iowa State, from the games you've seen, are they a different team on the road than they are at home?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. But I think, you know, that place, the place they play in has been known for a long time to be a hard place to play. Their fans are terrific. I mean, their fans are really good, and so they're really good at home. They were really good at home as long as I can remember. They were good at home when Johnny Orr was coaching there. So they were good at home when I just had his name. I just forgot. No, the guy who's at Creighton now, McDermott. They were good when McDermott was there. I was at K-State then. They were good when McDermott was there.
You're not seeing things though, like this particular team, they start to do uncharacteristic stuff when they're on the road, as opposed to, because it's just,
I don't know, Justin, who would ever thought what happened the other day would have happened.
yeah.
Everybody thought it's going to be a really close game. Things get started and they just continue to roll if you're not careful. Look at what happened to us at TCU.
And the reality is, other than the Texas Tech game when they blew the 23-point lead, I mean, they won their first two on the road, and their other ones have been 2-point losses. So it isn't like one of them was at Kansas. So, I mean, it's not like they're playing horribly on the road.
They're not. No, they're not. But it's very rare when somebody in this league does play bad. We played really bad at TCU, but other than that, we've been in the games.
Curious, you mentioned the timeline. When was it that you had Gansey talk to Eric? Was it before this current run that he's been playing better? You remember when it was?
John, I talked to Eric more than I talked to all of you guys put together. So
I'm just curious if it coincided. I mean, he's played well the last 4 or 5 games.
you know, I don't know, man. It's like, you know, boiling potatoes. You know, you can only let them boil so much, and you got to take the lid off.
Mike and Eric are not alike. Mike and Eric's personalities are a little bit different, right? Any reason that you thought that might be a good conversation for them to have?
No, I think guys in that position, if you get a chance to talk to the general manager of a team, you're pretty excited about it. I haven't had a whole lot of guys that, you know, and obviously with the one crew that I had at Cincinnati, there were people in there like you couldn't imagine. I mean, it was like, and you know, some of those guys just, it wasn't a big deal. Some of them it was. I think for Eric it was good, and you know, and Mike's Mike. Mike's got a calming effect on people. He's not loud. He's kind of just straight to the point, and you look at, here's a guy who didn't get recruited out of high school. I mean, the only time everybody like really looked at Mike when he was in high school was a dunk line, because he could really dunk. But he was playing with a whole bunch of really good players, and he just didn't get the time. And then he continued to get better and better, and then he came here, and John did a great job with him, and now he is where he is.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.